Hey everybody, and welcome back to Module 2 of how to recruit 20 people in 30 days and get a ton of customers along the way. First module, we talked about preparation. We talked about what it's worth to bring in 20 and 30. Hope you went through that exercise. You understand that success loves speed. The faster you go, the better off you're going to be. Understanding the numbers game, that in order to be able to do these presentations, to be able to get the 20, you're going to need to do a certain number of presentations based upon your skill, based upon your reputation, based upon your life. You know, that's going to go plus or minus in this number. But in order to be able to do this, we need to do something at least. We need to put a list together that has at least 150 people on it, or 150 to 300 people on it. That's what we're going to use as a foundation. And then we're going to invite those people via text and phone call to set appointments. We're going to do the presentations. We're going to talk about that in the next module. But this module is about putting the list together, sending out the texts and calls, what to do, what to say, and scheduling the appointments. Okay? That's what this whole module is going to be built on. And this is going to be something that you do right at the beginning of, and maybe even in preparation for your 20 and 30. Because this is work that can actually be done the week before you start your 20 and 30 as an example. You can schedule the appointments for those first 10 days before those first 10 days start. Let's say you pick a month. Let's say it's July. You're going to do this in July. You could take that last week of June if you wanted to and just schedule appointments for the first week of July. Now, you know, or the first 10 days of July. You're going to schedule as many appointments as you can in that short period of time. Okay? So this doesn't have to be, this piece of preparation, list, and invitation doesn't have to be in the 30 days, okay? So you understand. So we need to develop a list of 150 to 300. We have to figure out how we're going to make a invitation to those people, and you've already gone through your preparation in order to be able to make it all happen. Okay? So let's talk about the big tree that's in my way. Come on, tree. All right. Let's talk about the list. Now, as part of this program, you have a download. It's a list building workbook. It is a memory jogger workbook that will help you develop your list. Okay? So if we're talking about building your candidate list, what is a candidate? A candidate is somebody who might be a prospect for your product or opportunity, for it to be a customer or distributor. So with this candidate list, one you've got your workbook that will walk you step by step on how to build a list. But let me just give you some key points, okay? This takes a little bit of work, and this is another thing you can do in preparation before your 30-day starts, is to really do the work of building your database. It's not just like having a friend on Facebook where you don't have any of their contact information, you never talk to them or anything else. You know what I mean? Maybe you just need to do a little bit of work on this list. So step one is with this workbook, and the workbook will give you space to be able to fill all this in, is to write down every contact that you have. Start with your phone. Pull your phone out, and every single person that you have a phone number for that's not already involved in your business, even if you like them, don't prejudge. Even if you like them, don't like them, want them in your business, don't want them in your business, it doesn't matter, okay? Put the name on the list. You don't have to prospect if you don't want to, but the act of doing that is going to open up more space in your brain. You're going to start thinking of other people. You start to be able to add to that list, okay? So people, they like to tell me all the time, oh, I just don't know very many people. I just don't know that many people. And it's such a bunch of baloney. Your kids know hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people on social media. You do too. You just do. I mean, come on. Facebook has eliminated this I don't know anybody. I don't know how to reach anybody. Hasn't it? Hasn't it eliminated that excuse by now? I live in a small town. That does not matter. Start making a list, and you're going to find that you know a lot more than you think. So start with your phone. Let's just go through a checklist here. Your contacts. Go through your phone and transfer that onto paper. I'm a big fan of paper. This is a 20 and 30 candidate list workbook. This is specifically to get this task done. So you're going to be making a list just for that. I already have a list. I want you to make one for the 20 and 30. Start with your phone. If you have an address book, all the contacts there. Any list that you have in any place, in any direction, any location, any list that you have. Take your wedding lists, birthday party lists, Christmas lists, Christmas card lists, whatever it happens to be. Any list that you have. Now, in addition to that, you got social media. Every friend that you have on social media should be on your list if they're not already involved in your opportunity. Everyone. And if you don't have their contact information, take the time now before your 20 and 30 starts to reach out to them and get their contact information, because you're going to tell them, hey, I got something I want to share with you. Now's not the time. I'll let you know in a little bit. But take the time now to do the work necessary. Connect with every person you have on social media, whether it's Google+, it's Twitter, it's Instagram, it's whatever it happens to be. Go onto social media and use that to be able to build your contacts list, okay? So all of your contacts, that's point number 2, in every area that you can find it. So point number 3 is the second degree of separation. And what is that? What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is they say that we're only 6 people away, 6 degrees of separation away from every single person on earth. We know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody to connect to every single person on earth. And I don't know if that's true, but I tend to believe generally that we are way more connected than we give ourselves credit for. So all I want you to do with second degree of separation is I want you to look at every single person that you've put in your contact list in this workbook and think of who do they know. And if you can think of somebody that they know, by default, you know that person too. You have a connection with that person. So that's going to just thicken up your list like crazy. Who does Aunt Charlie know? Oh, it's that's a whole other group. Or who does my friend Mary know? Oh, it's that whole other group. You can start thinking of all these other things. This is part of the work of what we do in network marketing, the second degree of separation. Other companies are going to have a warehouse full of widgets. We have our relationships, okay? That's where we start in building and creating value in the world, is we go to people we care about with a product and an opportunity we care about, and we give them an opportunity to understand what it is that we do. And let me just pause for a moment and just tell you something. In this process, yes, our goal is to get 20 and 30, okay? But in this process, our goal is not for every single person we talk to join as a distributor. Our goal in this process is education and understanding. Our job is to educate the people that we know about what it is that we have to the point that they understand it. And if they understand it, they'll make a decision in or out, okay? So we're not emotionally tied to the outcome. We're emotionally tied to the education and the understanding. That's our goal here, is to help educate to a person to the point where they understand what it is that we have. So second degree of separation, you're going to thicken up the list. Number 4 is 2 a day. This is a discipline. 2 a day. You're going to go out into the world every single day and just try and raise your awareness to the point where every day you add 2 people to your list. You meet somebody, you find a way to friend them up. You meet somebody, you find a way to get their contact information, get their email address, friend them up on Facebook, whatever it happens to be. 2 a day, every day. That's 700 in a year. That's 3,500 in 5 years. 7,000 in 10 years. 10 years from now, you can be one of the most networked people in the world if you'll adopt this discipline. Now understand, if you don't have a lot right now, just understand this is a process. You're going to be doing this, adding 2 people a day every day between now and the time you launch your 20 and 30 campaign. Okay? Those 2 a day are going to add to that process. Now, the other thing I would say is to network on purpose. What does that mean? Join a health club. Join a local organization, start a hobby, do something, get out of your house. Network on purpose, connect with like-minded people who have interests the same way you have. Join a health club, do some things, get out of the house, network, get out there and connect with people. You're going to find that your influence grows exponentially as you do that. Network on purpose. And I will tell you, 6, kind of connected with this, is networking groups. Every one of you should be part of a weekly networking group in your local town. There's organizations like BNI that you can go to and find a networking group, or there's lots of meetups of networking groups in your local city where you go bring value, you help other small businesses, help other people get customers, they help you get customers, and you network in your community that way. Imagine if every single person in your organization was connected with a networking group and they were representing your company, your product, or your service inside of that networking group everywhere in the world. Be a huge influence, right? So networking groups are something that you can do as part of networking on purpose. Now, 7, I want you to think about all the people you know that are long distance, outside of 100 miles from you. Who do you know outside of 100 miles? And think about all the countries that your company operates in, if they operate in international markets. What are all the countries? What are all the states and provinces and regions? And start thinking, who do I know in that market? Who do I know in this market? Who do I know in California? Who do I know in Texas? Who do I know in Florida? Who do I know in Canada? Who do I know in Mexico? Who do I know in the United Kingdom? Who do I know in Germany? Wherever your company is operating, who do you know? And start thinking about long distance, because this is going to be, you can definitely do your 20 and 30 and have long distance people be part of that. I have every single time I've done a 20 and 30, long distance people were a part of it, okay? So the other thing I would have you do with this is understand that there's 3 different kinds of people in your list. What I would call them hot market, warm market, and cold market. Let me explain what that means. Hot market are your family and close friends that will not allow you to pretend that you're anything other than what you are. That you can't fool them for a second. They're going to call baloney on you so fast that sometimes the family is really tough, and close friends are really tough on a person trying to start their network marketing business because they know too much. Last week you were just going to start that flower shop, and now you're doing this and whatever it happened to be. How many opportunities of a lifetime you're going to join in your life? Whatever, they'll give you a lot of grief. So I want you to take all of your close friends and family and put them on one hot list, because when we talk about invitation next, I'm going to teach you specifically what to say to close family and friends that will give you the best chance for a positive result, okay? So we're going to create a hot list. Then you're going to look through all of these and you're going to create warm. In other words, you know them, you're friendly with them, you're maybe friends with them, but you're not super close. They're not the super inner circle hot market. They're warm market. And then cold market, people you know, but not very well at all. Maybe you know them, you've liked some of their posts on Facebook, they've liked some of yours, they've commented here or there, but you've never met. Not exactly super warm market. So what's a cold market group? What's a warm market group? What's a hot market group? Because it's different approaches for those different groups, and we're going to talk about that in a moment, okay? So you got that all? You got this? And you have this workbook that's included in this program. I want you to really seriously, not take this for granted, and make sure that you have at least 300 people on your candidate list for your 20 and 30. That's going to give us the raw materials necessary in order to be able to go out there and get the results that we want to get. Fair enough? All right. Next, let's talk about inviting. Now that we've created this list, let's talk about inviting. First, let's talk about hot market. 3 words that I want you to put in your mind when it comes to hot market. These people that, friends and family, they know you very, very well, okay? Word number 1 is respect. Many times we disrespect our family and friends and just assume that they're going to join just because we joined. Come on in, you got to come in with me. Well, no, I don't. You be perfect at this. Come join. Be part of my team. All this, it can be with close friends and family disrespectful to make that assumption that just because you did something, they have to do something, or put the pressure on them. That's disrespectful to put put guilt on somebody for not joining your business. So respect is word number 1. Word number 2 is support. And word number 3 is practice. So let's talk about support and practice. I want you to imagine for a moment, you're my family member. If I come to you with a support concept in my mind, here's how that looks. I would text you, call you, at some point we're talking, okay? I would say, listen, I just got involved in a company, or I've been involved in a company. I'm really excited about it. I think it's a great solution for me and my family. And don't worry, I'm not trying, it's not important to me that you become a distributor, you become, part of my business or anything. But one of the things that I appreciate about you more than anything else is the fact that you support me. You're my family. You support me. You got my back no matter what. And let me tell you what would mean the world to me. Would you be willing to be my customer for even just a short period of time? To use my product for 30 or 60 days? To maybe give a testimony if the product worked great? And if it doesn't, if you don't get a great product experience from it, I'm never going to bother you about it again. But if you do get a great product experience with my product, then I'd be happy to show you how to continue to be a customer. And if you end up finding enough people that would like to have this product too, and you maybe think about the opportunity, then we can talk about that too. But don't worry about that. No pressure, no drama. If you would like to, if you'd be willing to be my customer, it would mean the world to me. I've got a goal to get X number of customers in this month. Would you be willing to be one of them? It costs $80, it costs $100, it costs $50, whatever it happens to be. Okay? Now, if I came to you with that, and I told you that I appreciate your support right up front, and I'd ask you to support my business just by using the product, take the pressure off of the business, how likely would you be to say, yeah, sure, all right, fine, $80, done, no problem. But if I came hardcore, you got to join my business, you're like, whoa, Tiger, take it easy, okay? So support is one way, and let me explain practice to you. If I come to you again and I say, hey, I got involved in a business, I'm super excited about it for me and my family, I know you're busy doing your thing, would you do me a favor? Could I practice my spiel on you? Could I practice my pitch on you? I just need a friendly face. Can I sit down? It takes 15, 20 minutes. Can I just tell you the story the way I'm supposed to do it with somebody else? Can I do that? Because that would really help me get more comfortable with what it is that I'm doing. And it would mean the world to me. If you would support me by just sitting there and being an audience for me, I'd really appreciate it. And what most people are going to say is, sure, yeah, why not? Okay, so now if I come to them and I can combine the two. Yeah, I love the fact that you support me, you're my family, you got my back. Could I practice on you? And then through that process, you say, hey, one of the ways you could support me is just be a customer. That'd be fantastic, right? So practice, and here's why practice works so well. Let me talk about support first. Here's why support works. If a person, most of marketing is just getting somebody to try something, okay? That's all marketing is, getting somebody to try something. The Super Bowl commercials is just designed to get somebody to try something. Why do you see all these free trials of all these different things, whether it's Netflix or Hulu and all these different free try? Because hopefully if they try, they'll like it. If they like, they'll stay. They'll continue to be a customer. That's all we do too, is get somebody to try something. So the support approach is just getting somebody to try something. If they don't feel like your product is valuable, then they're not going to continue. But if they do feel like it's valuable, they're going to continue. So support is important because it'll get them to try it. If they like it, they're going to go, oh my gosh, I had no idea. Now on the practice side, here's the value of practice. if you have an entrepreneurial bone in your body, you cannot hear an opportunity presentation without starting to connect the dots in your brain. You can't do it. Even if it's just literally read off of a card. The entrepreneur in your brain is going to start saying, well, maybe if I did this, and I know a person who does that, and well, pretty soon your mind is going to be thinking, what if, with the opportunity. It's going to be very difficult not to do that if you're entrepreneurially driven at all. So practice is actually very helpful. And what is our goal? Education and understanding. Education and understanding. Education and understanding. So with our hot market, if we have respect, we come to them with a support approach that'll help educate them on our products and give them some understanding without a lot of pressure with that immediate family. If we come to them with a practice approach, that's going to help them become educated and understand it without them feeling like a prospect. We'll accomplish our goal, and they will have an opportunity to see what it is that we have. Now, let's move on to WORRE market. Hot market, respect, support, and practice. That's where you're going to just stay. Okay? WORRE market, there's different approaches for WORRE market. There's direct, there's indirect, and then there's super indirect. I'll explain what each one means. Now this is all in your list building 20 and 30 workbook, including scripts for this, okay? But let me just give you the mindset of direct, indirect, and super indirect when it comes to your WORRE market. These are people who you know, but you're not super close with, okay? Maybe at peer level. So direct is, let's say they look up to you a little bit, they respect you a little bit, they maybe admire you a little bit, maybe they view you as a little higher in the success chain than they are. I don't believe that that actually exists, but some people, there's perceptions out there, right? So some people you can go to, and you know who these people are. When you have an opportunity, you're going to do 20 and 30. These are the easiest people you can go to. You're going to say, hey, listen, I have an opportunity for you. You told me you wanted to move into a new house. I've got to wait for you to do it. You told me you wanted to get rid of that crappy car. I think I got to wait for you to make that happen. You told me you wanted to get to Disneyland, but you couldn't afford it. I think I got to wait for you to fix that situation, right? I have an opportunity for you. When I saw this opportunity, I thought about you. When I thought about who could make a lot of money with this, I thought about you. Direct, okay? This is from me to you. Now, most people use this for every person they talk to, and it's actually, you can use it for one group, but it can be disrespectful if you use it with everybody. You got to be selective and just kind of say, okay, who can I use a direct approach with and get away with that? Now, indirect is a little bit different. Indirect is, hey, listen, I need your support. I need your advice. I need your input. I need your guidance. I need your wisdom. Would you look at this and tell me what you think? I have this project. I want to bounce it off you and see if you think it's going to work in this local market or if it's going to work in this city. You see what I'm saying? So you're asking for advice, support, guidance, direction. You're going to get together with them and educate them to the point that they understand it, and then ask them for their expert opinions. So that's an indirect approach. And then super indirect, these are people of very high influence. They're either very high net worth or they've got a certain amount of, quote unquote celebrity. They're big deals. They're very busy. You go to those people and you say, listen, you're not a prospect. I know you're not a prospect, but I know that you know a lot of people. I know that you're very influential in this town. I'm doing this project. I'd like to explain what I'm doing. And if you can help me with some of your influence and make some connections for me, I can make it worth your time. Okay? So it's like you're not a prospect at all. I wouldn't even consider asking you about this. But I do want you to understand it because you might know some people that are desperately searching for what I have. I'm expanding a business in this local market. And, your influence and contacts and my opportunity might be able to come together and create a great situation for you. Okay? So direct, indirect, or super indirect are ways that you're going to go approach WORRE market. And then third, cold market. Now, let's say this is just a Facebook friend. And How do you get that into a situation where you can convert that into a warm market, or you move that from right to left? How do you make that happen? Sometimes, if it's 20 and 30, you can just go and be willing to be outrageous, right? Just contact everybody, and just go to that cold market and say to those people, look, I'm involved in a project this month. And I keep seeing your posts. I keep seeing the things that you put out there, and I think you've got a great energy. I think you've got this. I think you've got that. You compliment those people, and you say, "I've got something, and I just have a wild idea. Would you be open to sitting down and having coffee with me?" And you could send this all private message. Sitting down and having coffee with me here in the local market, or get on a Skype call or something. I could share what I have. I just got this crazy idea that you might be somebody that would be a fit for what I'm doing. And if it's not, then that's cool. We'll just continue to be friends. No big deal. But just give everybody an opportunity. Because again, if we're building a list of every single person that you know, you're going to give all these people an opportunity. Now, over the longer term, if it's outside of 20 and 30, you can slowly move these people from cold market to warm market just by being a friend, liking their stuff and commenting and saying hi and doing whatever. But if you're involved in an aggressive campaign and you're filling up all the hours with scheduling appointments and sending out messages and doing those types of things, you're going to reach out to everybody, right? Give everybody a chance. Do it in a respectful way. Give everybody a chance, but do it in a respectful way. But we're going to make up in numbers what we lack in skill. Our goal is what? Education and understanding. That's our goal. Okay, we're going to try and educate cold market. We're going to try and educate warm market. We're going to try and educate hot market. Got it? Now, so that's inviting. Now you'll see scripts in there, but I'm going to talk to you about something that has changed the game. So whether you've now kind of have a little understanding of what you're going to do in the invitation, but let's talk about how we're going to invite people. Because what do we want to do? Here's what I'm going to tell you. Face-to-face changes the game. Face-to-face changes relationships. Proximity matters. If you're close to a person, it matters. If you're on a phone with a person, that's one thing. It's become kind of cheap in our world. But if you're face-to-face with somebody, it's different. You ever have somebody email you an apology versus an apology face-to-face? Completely different experience. Text you an apology versus an apology face-to-face? Huge difference when it comes to impact and connection. So our goal here, again, is we're going to be trying to set up as many appointments as we can, right? We're going to have 300 to 5, whatever it is, 300 people on our list, and we're going to reach out to all those people. Our goal was how much? At a minimum. Hold on, one more. Our goal is to schedule 80 to 90 appointments. That's our goal. Schedule 80 or 90 appointments in order to be able to pull off the recruiting 20 and 30. So how do we do that? We're going to need to send out at least 150 text messages or make 150 phone calls. Now I got to ask you something. There's been a breakthrough that's happened in the world over the last 3 years or so. And here's the breakthrough. All of a sudden, just out of the blue, the whole world decided that they were done talking on the phone. They're just done. They're done talking on the phone. They don't want to talk on the phone anymore. And I was trained by my children, my kids, my daughter. I'd call her and the phone would ring and go to voicemail. And she'd text me right back, hey, hey Dad, how you doing? Sorry I missed your call. So she'd text immediately and she wouldn't answer the phone. The whole world won't answer the phone anymore. When I go around the world right now and I ask people, if you make 100 phone calls to somebody that's not really close family that's going to be scared that you're, got in a car accident or something, make 100 phone calls to 100 friends. How many are going to answer the phone? And the universal answer today is less than 20, approximately 20 out of 100. So if you take phone call, 100 will result in about 20 people answering the phone, which means you have to leave a voicemail for 80 people. Now, if we're trying to schedule all these appointments, 80, 90 appointments, how easy is it to schedule those appointments by leaving voicemail? Not very easy. Very difficult to do. But here's what happened. Texting became the preferred method of communication in the world. Changed everything. Because here's what happens. If you send out 110 text messages, you'll have at least 80 responses. We live in a culture today that if you don't respond to a text message, it's kind of rude. It's kind of offensive if you don't respond to a text message today. So if 80 respond to a text and 20 respond to a phone call, is it wise to just call everybody on your list? What's the wisest thing? Making a phone call or sending a text? Sending a text. This is one of the biggest breakthroughs that's happened in network marketing in forever, because my training, I started in 1988, okay? My training was, hey, take the phone, put it to the side of your head, duct tape that phone to your head and just start dialing for dollars. That was what we talked about. But today, it's so much easier. It's almost like cheating. Because there's, if you got to make 100 phone calls, you're going to be scared to death. I know you're going to be scared to death. The introvert in me would be scared to death. Make 100 phone calls. That's the last thing I want to do. But sending out 100 text messages is not a big deal. 100 text messages, no problem. 80 out of 100 are going to respond. You're going to get responses. You're going to be able to set appointments. So here's what I'm going to tell you. If you want to schedule, let's call it 100 appointments, okay, just to make the numbers easy. You're going to have to send out 100 appointments. You're going to have to send out approximately 200 text messages. And how long would it take to send out 200 text messages? How long? One day. You can literally schedule your entire 30 days in one day. Now, what do you say in the text message? It's anything that feels comfortable with you, but let me give you some ideas. You could type coffee, ? And send it to them. You could say, hey, I've been thinking about you, and I'd like to get together with you sometime face-to-face. Over the course of the next week, what's your schedule look like? And they'll respond with some answers. Hey, we haven't connected in a while. What's up? And get a response. And then follow up from there. See what I mean? Hey, I'm working on a project. I'd like to bounce it past you. Do you have time to get together in the next couple days? Get a response. Okay? So 200 text messages, you do that in a day, in one day. One day, even if you're working in a job, this is part-time, you can do it, don't do it when you're driving, but do it on breaks, do it at lunch, do it after work, do it until you go to bed at night. 200 in a day, done. The month is booked, solid. You got 100 appointments booked in every nook and cranny of your life. You got that one free day that you have a week booked with 15 appointments. Okay? So I'll tell you a quick story about condensed energy. A friend of mine, his name's Terry. He lives in Dallas, Texas. 8 years ago, I think it's 8 years ago, he decided, he's a serial entrepreneur. He's got all kinds of businesses all over the place. He decided he was going to go to work with a company, and he had one window of time, and he decided he was going to try and meet face-to-face with as many people as he possibly could over 10 days. He met with 140 people in 10 days. 140 face-to-face, all in Starbucks in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. He signed up approximately 50 of those 140 people. Okay? So about 30%, something like that, maybe a little bit better than that. 35%, something. Well, those people went to work. He worked with them for about 6 months, and then he started another company, started this, started that. He got all these other real estate things going on. And he basically left those people to go do their own thing, go to the conventions, do their work inside this network marketing company. Today, he still makes over $100,000 every single month from a 10-day effort with 6 months of support that he did 8 years ago. $100,000 a month. Super passive. What is it worth to do something like this? I mean, he basically did not 20 and 30, he did 40 in 10. Okay? Now, are you willing to swing your life out of balance by sending out, how would you book 140 appointments? Here's how you'd book 140 appointments. Send out 300 text messages and fill your calendar and pick a corner in Starbucks or your local coffee shop or wherever it is you're going and fill that up with appointments. And I'm going to teach you in the next module what to say when you get in front of your prospect. What do you say specifically? So this is a breakthrough. The fact that texting makes this so easy. Now, some of you are going to text somebody and they're going to say, yes, I'd love to have coffee with you, so long as it's not about your company. Because maybe you've, maybe they felt you've been disrespectful in the approaches before, or they've got psychic damage from some previous experience. I don't know what it is. But if you get that pushback, just say, hey, relax. We could just have coffee. It doesn't have to be about business. And still meet with them for 15, 20 minutes. And still connect and build a relationship. That'll build some rapport. Okay? So don't just be a friend with them only if they're a prospect. Be a friend with them regardless of if they're a prospect. So still meet with them. So text, set the appointments, fill the calendar. And you'll also see in this program, you've got another PDF download with your 30-day calendar. I want you to fill that 30-day calendar, and you can fill most of it in the course of 48 to 72 hours. Between the text message you send back and forth over the next 48 hours in order to be able to get the confirmation of the appointment. Schedule the appointment, get it all scheduled, get yourself done, have yourself really figured out. You have the month taken care of. Now you have to do is just go implement it because it's already done. You get the pain over with quickly, okay? So here's the challenge for you. I'm going to give you a challenge, the text challenge. As you're starting this is something that I would do prior to your 30 days. Let's say you picked, September. Okay? And here's August. I would probably do the text challenge in the latter part of August. Okay? To fill the September calendar. And here's the challenge. The challenge is 200 text messages. 200 text messages. The end of August, all done before September starts. If this is the month you're going to do it. Because if you'll do that, you're going to have 100. You're going to have a Saturday over here just stacked. You're going to have 6 of them down here. You're going to have 3 of them over there. You're going to have breakfast ones here. You're going to be meeting with somebody at lunch just about every day. You're going to have this date just stacked. See what I mean? You're going to fill that with 100 different appointments. Now, you're going to find that you're going to get so good at this so fast. You're going to get so big results so fast in this short period of time. But this month of September, this is why I say you have to negotiate. This is why I say you have to get rid of distractions. This is why I say you have to focus. You have to be committed. Because once you push play here and you fill this thing out, you're in motion, baby. You've got commitments now. You're going to make this thing happen. But I want this calendar just stacked with appointments. Okay? And all we're going to be doing is telling the story. And I'm going to teach you how to tell the story. So, will you accept the challenge? Here's the challenge right here. $200 text messages. That's the challenge. Before your 30-day campaign starts. And how long is it going to take you to do that? You should be able to do it in a day. One focused day. You have a day off of work, take that day and do it all. Be done with it. If you have a Saturday, do 200 in a Saturday. Start in the morning, just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep track in your book, in your contact candidate list book. Keep track of the ones that you've sent text message to, the follow-up, where's the appointment. You're going to have your calendar to be able to fill in the times that each appointment is. Okay, with their name and their phone number next to it, so you can make sure you follow up and everything's all happening. And we'll talk more about that. But here's the challenge. Are you prepared to send out 200 text messages? Because if you're prepared to do that, you will fill this calendar so full, you'll have so much activity, so much enthusiasm, so much excitement that you're going to be fired up. I know I have been, but once you do this, you kind of jumped off the cliff. Now you just got to go to work, which is great because you can get this before you allow fear to grab your brain. You get things into motion. Now, one thing I got to tell you, and I didn't mention it to you in the last module on preparation. One thing I have to tell you, if you have an existing group in network marketing, you have an organization right now, one of the biggest distractions you may have in doing 20 and 30 is your existing group. Your existing group screaming for your time and attention during September. Oh, I need a three-way call. Oh, I need you to come to my... It's just like, if you have children, have you ever noticed that when you pick up the phone, the kids start screaming? And as soon as you hang up the phone, they stop screaming? In other words, when you're busy and they want your attention, then they're going to scream and holler and act up. And as soon as you're not busy, they'll relax. Well, your downline is going to scream like crazy when you go do this 20 and 30. You're bringing in 20 new people. They're going to want your attention. All of a sudden, they're going to come out of the woodwork. And you got to all let them know, hey, October 1st, I'm available. But in September, I'm bringing in this year's class. I'm bringing in a fresh new group of people. I'm leading by example. Why don't you join me in doing your own challenge? Do your own 20 and 30. Go do it, and I'll meet you on October 1st, and we'll compare notes. Because they're going to say, well, come do it with me. Come help me. And you're going to feel, they're going to put some guilt on you sometimes. Ignore that guilt and just decide that you're going to focus on this. All distractions are equal. Focus on this. Bring in that new class. Help them when you're done. Okay, fair enough? So that's the challenge for this. What I want you to understand with this module is the list is work. The invitation is mindset, as far as hot market, warm market, and cold market. A little bit of skill. You're going to need a little bit of practice, but not a lot, because texting has given us a free pass almost. It's just so easy to schedule appointments. Now, on the scheduling part of the appointments, one thing I didn't mention is if you can't get together with them face-to-face, if it just doesn't work, the schedules don't work, or their calendar doesn't work, or they live too far away, a Skype face-to-face conversation can work. You can do a Skype presentation over the phone, and where you're doing your appointment over the internet. But try and make sure every possible time that you're looking at each other face-to-face. Because like I told you, a phone call's cheap. Face-to-face is valuable. Okay? It changes relationships. So Skype is an excellent tool. It's free. You can use video conferencing on your computer, on your phone, on your tablet. Any device, essentially, you can use your Skype to be able to talk to somebody face-to-face. Okay? So make sure that you do that. So that's it for this module. Next module, we're going to talk about telling your story. What do you do? Now that you have these appointments, you got all this booked, what do you do in order to help those people understand what you have and educate them on the value of what you can provide? Education and understanding. And then we'll talk about how to help them make a decision to join the greatest profession on earth. Okay? So that's it for this module. Hope you do your homework. Hope you accept the challenge. And I'll see you on the other side.